Happy Friday, America. My name's Arthur. I'm bringing this one in with the right energy. Thanks for tuning in on the Discussion Combustion. Happy Friday, America. And occasionally, Raw Talk YouTube channel. It's awesome to be here. Definitely thank you for your support on Mash the Gas as well, which is hosted by my co-hosts Kevin and Jeff Davis. So thanks for the support on everything that we do out of here. Really appreciate what y'all do for us. It's going to be a great episode. We have a lot of great topics, but I got my man across the table, Kevin, the Survivor Badstone.
Happy Friday, America. I am so happy to be here, so happy to be healthy and be here with you, of course. We got fall coming in this weekend, guys. It is the fall solstice on Sunday, Art. It's going to be the first day of fall, which means it's going to start getting a little darker. It's going to start getting a little bit colder. Football is here. The seasons are changing. Bring on the pumpkin pie and all the good times. Let's do some history, Art.
Absolutely. Right before I jump into history, I'm going to talk about setting modern history, and I'm going to make this quick. So my girlfriend is from Venezuela, obviously in Colorado and all across the United States. We hear about these Venezuelan gangs, but there's a lot of really great people from that country that are here in the United States that are doing the right thing, paying their taxes. So I want to say that really quick. And if you also support the opposition, which was wrongfully not elected in the last presidential election in Venezuela, the American private military, Blackwater, the leader of that, Eric Prince, he requested money from the United States military. They did not give it to him to go in there and remove this dictator. So there is a GoFundMe link if you support Venezuela and freedom of Venezuela. I just wanted to leave that link in there. So really quickly wanted to mention that. And now jumping into today in history, America, baby. So I had to bring it in like this. So 1814, the Star Spangled Banner is published as a song. Lyrics by Fancis Scott Key. What a perfect last name for a musician, Key.
Well, of course, the bridge that fell in Baltimore earlier this year was named after him.
Oh, was it?
Yep, it was the Fancis Scott Key Bridge that collapsed.
Oh, okay.
So kind of ties all that in there as well.
So that as well. And then the tune was by John Stafford Smith. 1848, the American Association for the Advancement of Science is created. I wonder what they're doing nowadays. I wonder how many times they've messed up on the information that they've studied. But isn't that part of science?
Well,
right? Like you have to go through it to figure out the right path. You know?
Yeah, and there's not always one right answer.
There is not. There's not. Moving forward to 1893, the first gasoline-powered car debuts in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Of course. My home area, good old New England up there, Springfield, Mass. I didn't know it was 1893, though. I would not have guessed that if it was a trivia question.
Yeah, I mean, dude, what a prolific area of the United States is the Northeast. So much history there. We're always, even on discussion, but we're always getting people from the Northeast in here, man, from New Hampshire area, from New England.
Let's go.
1926, Bugs Moran attempts to assassinate Al Capone in a drive-by shooting, but fails.
There's been a lot of assassination attempts in this country's history.
There definitely
some
has.
Some success, some not successful, but the fact remains the intentions behind it are usually no good.
And those are only the ones that we've heard about. That's today in history. Next one we got coming up is we're going back up to New England. This is a very New England thing here.
We're going home, baby. So Chris Sununu, governor of my home state. Of course, I grew up in that state when John Sununu was running that state. Now his son Chris has taken over. So every year down at Hampton Beach, Art is a pretty cool part of New Hampshire where they do a lot of fun activities on the water. You know, there's performing arts, there's lobster roll eating competitions. There's a lot of traditions that they do in that part. As we get into the Salem witch trials and we get closer to Halloween, it's a big part of the country for things. And one of the things that they do this time of year is the lobster roll eating competition.
Okay.
So this was going on just like they do the hot dog eating competition on 4th of July. They carry on tradition. So this gentleman by the name of Christian Moreno was pretty deep in those lobster rolls, man. They were going down like a sumbitch, and he started choking, and he kind of showed to the crowd, hey, I'm not doing well. And Governor Chris Sununu jumped in to save the man's life.
The governor was on the sideline watching this, and he stepped in.
He jumped into action. Okay. He gave him the Heimlich. He was able to eject the stuck lobster roll from the man's throat. Christian continued to eat lobster rolls after being saved from choking on one.
Have you ever given the Heimlich maneuver to anybody?
I have.
Yeah.
Unsuccessful. They weren't necessarily choking on something that was lodged. I think it was more that their windpipe collapsed from inhaling something spicy or something like that. But their reaction was
they were unsuccessful. That wasn't the right move.
It wasn't the right move.
Okay. I did it on my father.
Oh wow.
This is when Ocarina of Time was out on the N64.
Oh, one of the greatest games of all time.
I was just sitting there playing it. My dad was like shoveling and like throwing some Skittles in his house. And then he put some Skittle in his mouth, and then like he started to choke.
Wow.
And he was on all fours though. So I was a kid back then. But I knew it, and I like got up behind him when he was on the ground, and I like did it a couple times, and he just dislodged the fucking Skittles.
Damn, so he was choking on Skittles?
Yes, I saved my father's life from Skittles.
Does he eat Skittles anymore?
Probably.
Does he?
He probably still does.
Man,
he probably still does.
It's kind of scary though, as a kid, to jump into that life-saving kind of instinct.
I didn't realize the significance of it until like later on in life, because I was just so zoned into the game. But like I was like, "You okay, Dad? You sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, son. Thank you." And I was like, "Okay." And I just like went back to playing.
I went back to playing Zelda.
Yeah, I was just a little kid, but thank God I knew how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's important for everyone to know, and obviously it came in handy here. So just a fun article for the governor of New Hampshire up there. Old Chris Sununu doing him a solid lad move, and you know what? The competition went on. Lobster rolls were consumed. Yeah. And no further people were injured.
That's fantastic. I think I could do without, not in like an eating competition, but like if I just wanted to eat to the brim, like I think I could do 5 really delicious lobster rolls, like the ones from Perfect Landing.
Oh, yeah.
I think I could do 5 of those.
That's the closest to New England food I've had.
Those are so good.
Yeah, it's good stuff over there.
Those are so good.
They're back in action, by the way.
That is awesome. Definitely got to get out there if you live in the Centennial or Denver area. Perfect Landing at the Centennial Airport.
Love it.
Scientists have made vodka from the Chernobyl exclusion zone. They're saying that it's safe to drink. So this one was sent over by solid lad Kyle Mates. Thanks for throwing in this interesting article. We're always down. If you have an interesting article, you could submit that in the YouTube comments or on the X channel, or send us an email, whatever you guys got. But this one's really interesting because we all know about Chernobyl. In 1986, that reactor exploded, and basically creating like a nuclear fallout. It affected millions of people. I guess the death range after 2 decades was up to 200,000 people, roughly, based on the long-term effects of being exposed to nuclear radiation. And there's currently a 19-mile radius exclusion zone around the reactor. One thing that's interesting about this that it wasn't in the article is obviously Chernobyl is in Ukraine, and that is a country currently they're in war.
War zone, yeah.
Yeah, so there is that. But what they were doing is they were looking at some of the crops out there, and they were seeing that some of the crops, you couldn't consume them. So technically you couldn't eat them because they were still, a little cautious.
Yeah.
But they were like, what can we do with those grains? Maybe we could do something with those
the potatoes.
Grains. Yeah. So what they did is they started to distill this stuff, and then so they tried making vodka, and experts diluted the distilled alcohol with mineral water from an aquifer in a Chernobyl town, which is 10 kilometers south of the reactor, and is free, they say, from contamination. So basically, they're making atomic vodka is what they're calling it. My question is, and I know you're not really drinking right now, but would you try it just to try it?
I would taste it, just because I'm in the industry of bringing new products to market, and everybody has this new idea of what's going to sell. Mm-hmm. The idea of this is brilliant. I think there's a market for it, for people that want to collect certain things. Is it going to be the next Tito's? Is it going to be the next Fedka? I don't think so.
Probably not.
But it's definitely one of those niche-specific kind of beverages that they're trying to capitalize on. I'd be curious to see what kind of taste they got out of it, because different parts, different grains from different parts of the world add different flavors, right? I mean, like Colorado vodka tastes very different than, say, Russian vodka, just based on the grains and the ingredients that are used. But the fact that they're trying to salvage, Chernobyl, which it's been almost 40 years since the explosion, which is hard to believe. I remember seeing the Ferris wheel and all the images as a kid, and I remember the Top Gear guys going over there. In fact, I even talked to a guy that grew up 3 miles from the Chernobyl explosion. He got out of there when he was young, and I'm like, "Are you fucked up from it?" He's like, "I don't think so."
Yeah.
But the fact that they're able to salvage some of these things and try to turn into vodka, I'm not hating it. I mean, I think it's going to make for a niche-specific product that people are going to want to try.
People are going to buy it, and, I think it's cool. It's an interesting one, so definitely had to throw it in there. I'm not too sure where it will be sold. I'm sure that there is a link within the article link within the show notes. We got linkception happening on this episode.
We got links to the link and a link from the past. That's another Zelda reference there.
Oh, that's very nice. That is very nice. So moving on to some good news, and this one kind of spurred a couple articles that I saw here. So high schoolers surprise a Ghanaian I'm not saying that right, janitor with a dream car. So the janitor at the school in Virginia had a dream of having a car, a Jeep specifically. Students always said that he was always a very positive person, always very encouraging, a happy person, would smile often. But when you're an immigrant, you're trying to make it in the land of dreams, a lot of those are just dreams. And there's a lot that you have to do to obtain goals in this country and actually make something of yourself. So, he's out there working hard as he knows how to do it. And these students actually came together, started a GoFundMe, raised over $20,000, and then they surprised him with this Jeep Wrangler, this red Jeep Wrangler,
cherry red Jeep.
Mm-hmm. And the video was really great. The guy, he was obviously in disbelief, but he kept falling to the ground. He kept falling to the ground and laying on his back and stuff, and being like, "Oh, I can't believe it."
He was just so excited.
He was just so happy, man. People giving back.
It's a beautiful story for sure, and it kind of reminds me of, when you go back to your high school days or even middle school days, there was always that one really cool teacher, that one really cool janitor. Mm-hmm. There was that one guy that you just wanted good things to happen to, and the school would always rally behind it, Mr. Rogers, he's super cool. He sweeps the floors and he slips me Slim Jims or something. He's just a cool guy. And so it's kind of cool to see even all these years later that, in such a contaminated school system that we live in now, unfortunately. It's good to see people, pulling together and doing nice things, generosity. I think it's great. It's really refreshing to see, kids of this age coming together, putting together GoFundMes for a selfless act to help this janitor that's probably been working at this school for a very long time. It's beautiful.
Yeah, man. I mean, as long as you're doing the right things, you will motivate people as long as you just keep it up, man. You gotta do it for the reason to. You're a good person to be a good person. You're not a good person so your students can give you a fucking Jeep Wrangler. Okay?
Right.
But that might just happen.
Yeah.
And then I also saw more generous high schoolers. Students surprised Nigerian security guard who's part of a family with a trip home raising $30K.
Beautiful.
And then this one was really cool. A very similar story. Students raised $270,000 so an 80-year-old janitor can retire from Texas high school. Solid lads, students.
Awesome.
And that's some good news that's happening out there in the world right now.
I like that segment of some good news happening. John Krasinski started a whole program about that.
I know, and then he sold it. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm getting these articles from.
It could be, but either way, it's good to keep the good. Oh yeah, Good News Network. You're right. Which a reminder, all those will be in the show notes down below. Keeping it to Texas-sized things, Kev's random records this week. Of course, David Rush is still out there racking them up. Now that he's really, he's dethroned Sylvia Saba.
Yeah, he's the champ.
I'm only going to highlight, David Rush's epic records going forward. I mean, the man's doing some amazing things. So I'm going to try and keep it moving. Try to highlight some different things. I saw a guy in Arizona set the new single shot record with a basketball over from his half court.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool. That almost made the show, but this one had to take it. Texas now breaks the record for the largest charcuterie board at 1,032 pounds of snacks art. That's 1,032 pounds of meats, cheeses, and other qualifying ingredients, and they did it to celebrate the Central Market's 30th anniversary.
Okay.
Previously, this record was set at 769 pounds. So let's think about that for a minute. Like when we have charcuterie events, at the house, we got the guys over
pounds or something.
Max.
Right.
Max. And
like 2 or 3 pounds.
And that'll feed a couple of us.
Yeah.
1,032 pounds of meats, cheeses, and other qualifying ingredients. So olives, chocolate-covered almonds. That's a lot.
So basically like a pound per person, right? Do you feel? 2 pounds. A person could eat 2 pounds.
Of charcuterie,
so
yeah.
There's probably at least 500 people at this event.
Probably. I would guess so, just based on the celebration. The record was previously set by a Florida snack delivery service, like I said, at 769. So that they raised it quite a bit, almost 300 pounds, taking it up. Somebody will probably beat it again. But when you think about how many ingredients and how much you have to have to get all that together, first of all, where are you going to put it all?
Yeah.
Like if it's a charcuterie board, it has to be laid out.
Did they have like the ingredients set, right? And then they had like those same ingredients in different sections.
Probably.
So then that way, like everyone around that section could all have access to every ingredient.
Yeah. I mean, I almost picture you'd have to do this in like a warehouse kind of setting because you need a massive enough area to lay out your crackers, your cheese, your meats, your olives, all the things that go into charcuterie. And all this talk about charcuterie makes me want some because it is one of my favorite
I mean,
Hoarders.
the cheese and the meats, and with like some cracker. I mean, look, that's like classic anything.
So good.
It's like a sandwich, even cheese, meat,
and
and the bread. You know, it's like a pizza, cheese, meat in the dough.
Yeah.
Like, it's classic.
It is.
And then it's fun trying all like the unique flavored
Good
cheese. Do you like
combinations.
goat cheese?
I like goat cheese, but
I do.
I like it paired with certain things. Like I feel
Okay.
like it pairs well with like fruit.
Well, yeah, with like it comes with like a little jam puree on top.
Right, but like I don't want goat cheese in substitution of like provolone or something like that.
You got to just have both.
Or you could have both. Yeah,
or-
goat cheese is a
I
little
love
bitter.
the brick of fucking Parmesan.
Parmesan's
Like that
good.
real Parmesan that has like the crusties in it, like
Yeah.
the solidified.
The one that you take the shaver to, and like it's shaved Parmesan and not the grated.
Oh, gosh.
yeah,
So
yeah.
good.
Charcuterie is amazing. There is a huge listeria outbreak I want to add though with packaged meats right now. I
Oh.
know Boar's Head was kind of dealing with it. We're seeing a lot of, because I'm a guy that loves salami and provolone, and I buy the vacuum sealed packs of all that. Major listeria outbreak going on right now.
I've never. What is listeria?
I don't think that's what I have going on with my medical
Listeria
situation.
cause hysteria?
Listeria does cause hysteria, but does hysteria cause listeria? I don't know. But I don't think that's what I got going on, Art.
Okay. Well, you don't got nothing going on.
No, I'm good to go, man.
You're eliminating.
I'm good to go.
You're eliminating this shit. The survivor Batstone.
That's right. No, I am healthy as a damn horse.
All right.
And
You wrote the Would You Rather
I
this
did.
week. But
So-
we got to recap last week or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yes. Yeah, we did miss last week due to my health not being up to par, but I'm back with you. So 2 weeks ago, we asked the viewers, would you rather go a week without eating or a week without sleeping?
And I need to make a correction on this because
Okay.
after doing the research, so maybe I fucked up the Would You Rather, but like you could almost die 7 days
Without
not,
sleep.
Yeah, not sleeping. So I think it's like 4 or 5 days max, really.
Well, yeah, you're right.
So that I messed that up.
We can tailor it though, because like I can speak from experience of not sleeping well for a week, like a week period. Like maybe you get like an hour a night. Like yeah, you're still sleeping, but you're getting shitty sleep.
Yeah.
So we could substitute that in there.
Okay.
Like a week of just horrible sleep.
I mean, the polls are already in,
Polls are in.
but I just need to own that
Yeah.
because that was I could have made it a little bit better.
That's fair. So 100% America's going unanimous. Art, I believe you and I chose this as well. We're giving up eating. We're not
Yes.
going to eat for a week. We're going to sleep.
Yeah.
And I can speak from experience after last week. I would also like to do that. I need sleep. Sleep is very important.
Dude, the more you sleep, the longer you live.
You need to rest.
But there is like that
Too much
that
sleep.
tipping point,
You can go too much.
or some of our friends do that.
Some of our friends do that.
What
I
do you-
did it when I was a teenager.
What do you think, listeners? Is like 10, 11 hours sleeping a day too much?
Way too much, guys.
I think it's too much.
It's way too much. But
way too
then 6 hours a night, some would argue,
It's like almost
isn't enough.
It's almost 2 sleep cycles too much. 6 hours, honestly.
6 to 8.
6 is like that's the one.
I'm good on 6, especially not drinking. When I was
Yeah.
boozing heavy, 8. I needed 8.
Well, because it's on these. The sleep cycle is an hour and a half interval.
Hour and a half piece. So
Somewhere
6
in there.
lines
So
up.
it's like 6 to 7.5 hours,
Yeah.
really.
7.5 is a good number.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because then you can give yourself that 30-minute period. That's 15 falling asleep, 15 waking up
Yes.
to get your 8 hours in bed.
Yeah.
Right.
That is nice. I like laying in bed.
I do too.
It's an amazing
when
place.
when the temperature's right, I don't like being sweaty in bed.
No. We need fans. We need
need
AC
fans.
or wintertime, baby.
Keep the air moving.
But you did the Would You Rather this week.
I did the
What
Would
do
You
you
Rather
got
this
here?
week. So here's what we got this week, Art. And this is going to be just an interesting one that came to mind, right? So would you rather live in a barnyard of animals, or would you rather have the barnyard of animals live with you? So in other words, would you rather have pigs, cows, chickens running around your house,
Yeah.
where you know your sanctuary,
Okay.
or would you rather live in their situation
Okay.
with them? So you're bunking out in the barn house, you're
Yeah.
out in the stables with the cows.
So can I create my own room within the barn?
I think so.
Like I could make my own little spot.
Yeah.
I'm taking the barn all day.
Yeah. So you're not going to have the animals in your house.
No, I'm gonna go live in the barn with the animals. I'll make my little cubby area. I'll make it elevated so I can look down at all the animals at night.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with there because you think about the opposite, and then the barn has room for them. If you just bring them all in the house,
It's going to be a mess.
it's gonna be a fucking shit show in there.
Especially with cows and stuff running around. They're heavy. They're
Yeah.
very heavy animals. They
Yeah.
can cause damage. Because I know we're both very protective of the cleanliness of our
Oh, yeah.
sanctuary. So if you lived, in a barn situation or lived on a farm for that matter, there's no stranger to chickens and stuff come wandering into your house. That's just
Yeah.
part of barn and farm life living. So I was curious which way you were going to go on that.
It's a good would you rather, and I think it would actually be fun to go live in the barn.
It would be.
And make my own little clubhouse in there.
Yeah, kind of like a
You
bunkhouse.
I got my little light couch, my little TV and stuff, and it's just up in there, and then the animals are all sleeping down there. Then they start making noises at night. I'm like, what's going on down there?
Yeah. I think
That'd be kind of fun.
It would be fun. I think I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go in the barn with them.
Okay.
Rather than because some people it's becoming a thing where people have pigs that live in their house, or even some folks have cows that live they've domesticated a cow in their house.
I mean,
I've
like
been seeing
in the city, like they live in the city.
I don't know about the city,
With
but
like a little bit of a backyard.
yeah, something like that. People are getting really, really comfortable with having, in my opinion, farm animals should be out in farm grounds, not necessarily in the house. But there's this one fella on Facebook or whatever, and TikTok does reels of he's got a cow named Bruce, and he's always got Bruce always in the house with him. He's making
I've seen that.
He's making breakfast. Bruce is eating it.
Yeah, Bruce is like, give me some of that.
Bruce is just and so that's kind of the idea of it. Would you want to have these animals in your house,
No.
or would you want to live in their house?
I would rather live in the barn.
I'm living in the barn with you, America.
Yeah.
Let us know where you're going. Are you going in the barn, or are you bringing the barn in your house?
That was a good would you rather, man. So real quick focus on stretching. I talked about walking a couple weeks ago, so now I want to focus on stretching. I'm going to do this one lightning round, okay? So it improves your performance in physical activities. It decreases risk of injury. It helps your joints move through their full range of motion, increases muscle blood flow, enables your muscles to work more effectively, improves your ability to do daily activities. So that's just the bullet points, but then it broke down all these different sections here as well into more details. So you want to strive for symmetry. So these are a couple things that you want to do when stretching. Strive for symmetry. So if you do it on the right, do it on the left. Focus on a major muscle group. Don't bounce around into your stretch. Like, do slow breathing into it. And then one that my dad taught me when I was younger, which I never knew before he told me, but that's you want to hold your stretch and relax into it for like 30 to 60 seconds. If you just do a 15-second stretch, it's not going to do it. Don't aim for pain. Just get that good stretch in there. Keep up with your stretching. So do it continuously, and then bring movement into your stretching. So you're like kind of being fluid and moving into things. This, just like walking the other week when I covered that, it's free.
Yeah.
You can do it on your own, in your house, 20 minutes a day. If you stretch right before you go to sleep, there's so many benefits. Stretching also makes you stronger because it elongates your muscles. Muscles are actually stronger when they're longer. So I just had to throw out that quick reminder.
Yeah, you're talking about the TB12 method there. Tom Brady talks about elongating and stretching the muscles, and he focuses more on that than he does like the weightlifting aspect of it. It's the stretching of the muscle, keeps the longevity of it for when he was throwing footballs and stuff. So a lot of truth to it. And my brother, he's got kind of a slip disc going on. And so part of his PT is doing these different various stretches to the back to, stretch those muscles out that are normally super tight from different areas. A lot of people hold a lot of the tension in their lower back. I'm fortunate not to have any lower back problems, but stretching definitely yields a lot of benefits. I notice after a good workout, or if I've done hiking, if I do on the incline, your hams will be like ripping, just burning. Stretching that out, like a day or two after a good workout, when your muscles are just wrecked, you can just feel like the fibers and the amino acids leaving the muscle.
Yep.
It's just a great feeling.
So the reason why a stretch or like muscles are sore is because there's like a lack of blood flow, and what stretching does is when you breathe in deep, it like helps push the blood through, and you're focusing on that area, and that's what causes the relief, is the redispersion of blood flow. So that's kind of like some of it behind it. We're not scientists here, but we are in our mid-30s and have definitely been through some shit and learned a couple of things.
Been around.
Yep. That was a good quick touching on stretching. Got to stay healthy. This next article, I purposely didn't read the body of this because I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I've been really wanting to see what this one's about.
Well, you mentioned earlier about folks that were sent. Kyle Mate sent you about Chernobyl. My brother sent me this one.
Oh, nice.
So we're getting some submissions in from people.
Thank you.
This is a great article here. So basically, in a nutshell, a Cheetos bag. Right. I'm going to preface it like this: how can a Cheetos bag change the ecosystem of the caves? Okay. And so down in the Carlsbad Caverns National Park, which is in New Mexico, these incredible dark caverns that haven't seen light for a long time. People go down there, for touristy reasons, to visit it. You go inside it, you can smell it, you can experience it. It's epic. It kind of reminds me when I went to Rio Secreto in Mexico, and I went to these underground secret, caverns and caves and rivers and stuff. There's a lot going on in there. But one thing you don't want to do is mess with the ecosystem in there. And so a young kid was having a snack, he was eating his Cheetos or whatever, and he dropped them, like kids do, and it fell down in an area that was off the path.
Yeah.
Couldn't get to it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just too far down. It's like, all right, it is what it is. Well, as the time went on, this Cheetos bag changed the microorganisms and the way that this cave responded to it. So the spiders, the mites, the things that feed off of the existing things in this cave were like, something's off in here. So all the attention went to the cave crickets and the mites and everything went to this Cheeto bag. Right, and they started focusing on that, and because of the garbage that's in Cheetos, right, the ingredients,
it's like
not
man-made
natural
chemicals,
man-made chemicals, it caused a complete change in the walls, in the structure, in the humidity, and everything that was, an operating ecosystem in this cave was changed by a bag of Cheetos. And so I got to thinking, like, would that happen with an apple or a potato or something natural that would naturally decompose? And the answer is yes, but not to this extent because of the nasty ingredients that's in Cheetos.
So is this like a permanent change now, or like?
I think it can be reversed, right? I think they've retrieved the bag, they've gotten it out of there, but some of the damage has been done because now you've thrown off the way that these mites and these bugs and these things in there are going. Well, where's the Cheetos at? Now that they've gotten a taste, right? They got a little hit of that crack. They got that Cheeto crack, and it fucked up the way that they operate and think in this cave. It's kind of wild, and this has been going on for this cave has existed for eons, right? And it hosts close to 400,000 visitors a year. And brings almost $32 million to the local economy. It's just crazy that one Cheeto bag, open Cheeto bag.
I mean, I can believe it. I mean, a lot of this stuff is powerful, and we don't really put that much attention on it. But I even saw this quick video. It was like these scientists with some rats or mice or something, and they basically put the rat in a thing of water. There's one little area where they could swim to for safety, and the rat that has a normal diet, what rats eat, swam there right away. And then another rat that they put in there that they fed a North American diet for 24 hours was trying for so the first one made it in like 5 seconds, and then the one with the North American diet, it was like 36 seconds. It took it to find the thing. It was just swimming all over the place. And it does affect us and all the microorganisms, and we really got to start thinking about what we're feeding ourselves. And I hate to say it, but I'll admit it here. I didn't eat McDonald's for 3 years. I haven't had McDonald's. And I had a fucking McDouble recently.
Did it wreck you?
No, it didn't wreck me, and it was delicious, dog. I went back a couple days later and bought 5.
There it is. There's the crack.
And now I'm thinking about fucking McDoubles all the time.
That's what they do.
No, seriously, dude, that shit is addicting.
They know what they're doing.
Like, I want a McDouble bad, and I didn't have it for 3 years, and now I can't stop thinking about them.
They know what they're doing. And same goes with this Cheetos and Doritos. We had a guest on, Molly Smith was talking about, the ingredients of Doritos and what it does. There's actually an active ingredient that suppresses
your appetite.
No, it doesn't.
It makes you more hungry.
It activates your appetite. So that when you're eating things like Doritos and Skittles and Mountain Dew and Cheetos and all this garbage, you want more and more, and you can't stop.
Yeah,
right?
Your body doesn't know
it's literally it's a drug. It's a chemical that's in it. And the way that our body reacts, we're not meant to eat shit like this.
That's crazy.
I mean, and that's proof of it. You throw it in a cavern, in a cave, a bag of Cheetos, and it fucks up the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, it does. And please do your own research. We are not experts in health, dietary, or anything medical, all right? I just need to say that here.
That is for sure.
And we're moving into the weekend.
All right.
So Memphis, baby, Mimosa Fest on the river. Come on, all you sassy ladies. Fall's coming. This is your last opportunity to get on the river, put on your jean shorts, white tank top, enjoy some mimosas out there.
Someone's falling in the river. Someone's going to get too intoxicated. It's going to get sloppy, but you know what?
Be safe at least.
Keep it fun. Drink safe. Don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly, always.
And I think drink some water while you're drinking booze.
Very important.
Just have like a fucking bottle of water occasionally.
Yes.
It really goes a long way.
Drink one for me, please. I don't drink anymore. Down in Atlanta, Georgia, we got the Reggae on the Roof Fest going on. Anytime that there's live music, whether it's reggae, jazz, you name it, these kind of festivals are some of the best sleepers that you can possibly. Like, if you're just looking for something to do, you're gonna have a great time at something like this.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like, you don't even need to show up to these places and like drink or do anything. You can just go there, enjoy the music, enjoy some dancing. Like, you don't even have to be on anything.
It's very true. Just go have a good time. Just like here in Denver, we got a great comedy scene here in Denver. We've had plenty of them on Discussion Combustion. There's great comics around. You got drinks, pizza, Saturday night comedy. Our boy JD Lopez will probably be in there doing some stand-up.
I think he was saying something. He actually might be there.
I think he probably will. And JD is a fantastic comedian.
He's good.
He's hilarious.
I like it. I like it when they push the limit a little bit and talk about slightly offensive things, because honestly, that shit's hilarious.
Comedy is one of the only forms of acceptable, where you don't have to be PC anymore. We got to protect comedy.
We definitely do. And then, of course, for all the NASCAR fans of the world, of course, MTG, listeners, where's the race happening?
Big race this Saturday night, guys. Bristol, Tennessee is short track Saturday night. One of my favorite racetracks. This is a cutoff race. This is where the playoffs go from 16 drivers to 12 drivers.
Crucial.
4 getting eliminated. Denny Hamlin, my man who I picked to win the championship, is in a must-win Saturday night if he wants to stay alive, and I'm telling you he's going to win it, and I will eat my words if I have to. But Denny Hamlin is my man. It's going to be a great race in Bristol this weekend, and that's it. It's time for the weekend, guys. Fall is here. We got racing happening. We got festivals all over the place. It is time. Get cozy. You know, it's going to start getting a little dark. It's getting a little cold. Get that blanket out of the closet. You're going to need it.
Your favorite candle?
Yep, little apple cider. Art, I got the apple and cinnamon flavor going on at the house now. I'm kind of getting into that fall scent a little
How
bit.
about the pumpkin stuff?
I don't like the smell of pumpkin.
You know, we'll save that for another Friday. We're kind of running out of time.
We're out of time, guys. We got to get there. Hopefully I see you for the race tomorrow night at my place, Art. We're out of here. Happy Friday. You can follow us across the board, Instagram, Facebook at Happy Friday USA, Twitter X, where you can take the polls, watch the promo clips go up. That's at Happy Fry USA. And I'd give you my email, but it doesn't seem to much matter anymore. Emails are obsolete. And tell you what, America, enjoy your weekend.